Looks like we got a bit of a load on our hands here. To be expected. I've been like silently enjoying the solo observing slot, but now we've got all the other casters in here too. So if you don't speak English, you still want to watch this series, there's some other foreign languages covering this now. But guys, without further ado, we get into this. This is the EnerJ Cup semifinals currently going on right now. And of course, at this point, everyone has essentially qualified to make some money, which is pretty cool. As third and fourth place get $50 regardless. So whoever wins here today still walks away with a bit of cash in their pocket and some energy drinks. That being said, though, you got your eye on the prize. You want first, you want second. And spawning here in the top right corner of the map, playing for my insanity, it's the red Protoss, Stardust. Find him on Twitter at Stardust SC2. His opponent in the lower left. Whoa, I cannot tab out of the game apparently. There we go. Playing also for my insanity, it's the Teal Terran, known as Jjakji. And find him on Twitter at Jjakji. Go follow both of these players. Now, something that's really, really cool here, guys, that's just absolutely fantastic, is the fact that this is one of those few times in the tournament where things work out perfectly. Where you got to follow, oh my god, every time I keep trying to go close Twitter. Sorry. We got to follow both of these players through the brackets. I mean, we saw a little bit more Jjakji than we did Stardust, of course. We got to see Jjakji take on Happy as well as Fear. But Stardust, you know, played a really good PvP versus Ghost. Ghost played a really good PvP versus Stardust, depending on your point of view. But they both got here to the semifinals. I still don't have an update on the brackets of who's playing in the other semifinals. But if you type ! Brackets in chat on Base Rate TV, only if you're watching this live, of course, then you can see who is playing over there. But we'll see how this one goes. Again, it's a bit of a team kill. I made a bit of a joke. I said, are you guys ready for the team kill? And Stardust says, I ready to die. So I don't know if that's just a joke or if there's some sort of self-conscious thing here. We'll see what happens. As Jjakji is, of course, a pretty darn good player. Known for being a pretty darn good player. The scary thing, though, is when you play against a teammate, you know, these guys are both living in the My Insanity team house in Switzerland. They're training, they're practicing with each other. I'm sure they've sparred off in TVPs in the past and discussed theories on, like, what does and doesn't work in the game. That does actually make me kind of think, like, two Koreans, like, sitting by the fire, sipping cognac, I can't speak. Cognac while you know, in their bathrobes or whatever, just discussing strategies like Stardust, I think you know, the 3 ranks opener is quite strong, but of course in Korean, and I can't speak Korean, but I have no idea what it's really like in the team house. It's obviously a false perception, and gets the pro kill.
Blood.
Not too bad. Loses the SCP immediately after, though. Jjakji going for the law of equivalency here. The trades, or sorry, Stardust is trading 1 for 1, I guess. But anyways, back to my original point. That is a very serious point. I made a bad joke of it as I started having this really weird fantasy of these guys just like being total rich snobs or something. Where, you know, you've discussed strategy with your teammates before. For those who don't know, the My Insanity house in general regularly watches like tournaments together. They watch streams together. They discuss strategies together. So it's not at all unfeasible for these two to know exactly what the other plans to do going into this series. That being said, we still see scouting going off for Jjakji. He wants to make sure Stardust isn't going to change it up. I gotta be honest, Terran just doesn't have the option to cheese the same way Protoss do. They don't have the same levels of all-in that Protoss do. So for Jjakji, he really needs to keep an eye on what Stardust is doing. Because it's not like you get a quick proxy Stargate out, or Starport out. I mean, I guess technically you could try and 2-port Banshee a Protoss player, but good luck, have fun with that, as Stalkers are pretty good. Oh, sorry, that's me being sick again. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Jjakji coming in for another scout. Of course, Derelict Watcher is deceptively open to scouting for Reapers. Oh, whoa, did he really just bait out an overcharge? That's huge. That's not a small thing. That's huge because Jjakji already saw the Forge researching, so we can presume that this is going to be +1 armor. It's kind of the good one of the two. I mean, you can go for weapon upgrades, but armor is going to be a lot more effective against a player who is playing Terran and Bio. You usually go weapons if you're going to go against Zerg or something, but man, baiting out the overcharge like that, I don't know if Jjakji's happy or pissed off, because one hand, he lost the Reaper, he can't scout anymore, but on the other, he burned an overcharge without having to push across the map with like 11 Marines and 2 Marauders, so kind of cool, I guess. We'll see how this pans out. Now, what I've been keeping an eye on, you'd be like, why you keep looking at Stardust base? Go look at Jjakji. I'm waiting for some sort of hidden tech to come down. A quicker Twilight Council, a Stargate, freaking, I don't know, Robo in 2s or something. Just something that warranted that overcharge. But just, I guess, really wanted to kill that Reaper. SCV's not going to get a further scout off too, and Jjakji is forced to scan. Okay. So, a little bit paranoid of what Stardust could be doing. Because, again, he's probably sitting there thinking the same thing that I was. Where it's like, why did he blow an overcharge on my Reaper? What was he trying to hide? But Stardust is playing absolutely just standard. He's not hiding anything. We got a Robo facility coming out, but I doubt this will be for, like, quicker Immortals. Well, actually, you know what? I take this back. We got weird amounts of sentries down for versus the Terran player. You know, I was waiting for the Twilight Council to come down because I'm like, look, +1 armor, Twilight Council, easy peasy, bam, Bob's your uncle. But changing it up, gonna go for weapon upgrades, gonna invest in Colossus a little bit sooner, so this makes a little bit more sense for the Robo if that's gonna be the case. That being said, you know, even if this isn't Stardust, generically, what most European Protoss are doing right now is they open with the Starport, or I keep getting all these names wrong. They open with the Stargate, get an Oracle out, send it across the map, and transition into Templar as well as Zealots with armor afterwards. What I think is happening in this game, though, Stardust says, all right, you know what? I'm gonna probably go into Blink Stalkers a little bit sooner. The +1 weapon upgrades will benefit what I have, and that will allow me to protect my Colossus if so. That's going to be the choice, and looks like yes, it will be. Robo Bay is coming down behind the mineral lines in the natural. Now for Jjakji, this isn't problematic. Well, actually, it could be problematic if he doesn't respond to this. So, what he's going to be doing right now, I imagine if he doesn't scan again soon, he's expecting an Oracle. He's expecting something to go. The Hallucinated Phoenix is a weird thing to see as a Terran player. But what he's going to need is probably about 4 medevacs. If he knows what's going on, he may go immediately into Viking production, but definitely needs to get the medevacs out first. Goes for another scan off. Still sees no tech in the main. Catches the Robo facility this time. I don't know if we'll see the Warp Prism pop out. Probably not. I think that should wear off right about now. Yeah. So he doesn't see the Robo Bay. A couple Zealots going to be lifted up into this, and this is going to be annoying. Dealing with Warp Prisms is frustrating as a Terran player. You just can't respond. The Warp in mechanic is too darn good, and Marines are not strong enough, quite frankly. Oh gosh, if Jjakji's moving out of the base especially. A 4th Zealot's warped in, so there's going to be 4 Zealots in the main he's going to have to clean up with. If there was like 5 racks down and Jjakji had insane production, he could deal with this. He really could. This is going to be really problematic. This is going to be really problematic. He is pushing with quite a strong force, though, so Stardust maybe can't invest too much into this, but his first Colossus will be out in just a moment's time. He's got an overcharge available. Thermal Lances come up, and of course with 3 force fields on that ramp, Jjakji shouldn't be able to get too much done. Snipes off the Observer. Nice little catch there. Small drop goes off in the main. And for Stardust, he's got to pick how he wants to split his forces. So force field will keep a couple units here in the main. Pushes the rest back, or sorry, in the natural. Overcharge in the main, should be able to hold on to this now versus Marine push. Does get the Mothership Core in the end. Nice little snipe there. Where did the Warp Prism go? It's still just chilling down here, so Stardust now going to move in with it, sensing the opportunity, because he's not going to have one later. Jjakji's units, of course, are all on the wrong side of the map, and, well, this is going to hurt. He's going to lose some workers for sure. He's going to have to pull them at the bare minimum. I'm sorry, guys. I need 1 second to blow my nose. Pardon me. But again, goes to town immediately on that SCV line. And looks like this will get cleaned up with relative ease. Definitely put some fear into Jjakji, because now he's aware that there's the potential of warp-ins, that the drops may continue later on. They can never leave his base fully unguarded. But if he gets the Warp Prism by accident... Alright, never mind. We'll not quite get that. We'll clean up the pylon, though. Third base down for Jjakji, built on location. Talk about ballsy, but still gets it down. But a lot of Colossus are out. A lot of Colossus are out, and Thermal Lance finishing up in just a moment's time here. Gonna allow him to push out a little bit stronger, a little bit better. Oh, pardon me. So, Bio versus this composition is already struggling enough as is. Even if you got a hell of a lot of Marauders, the reality is Colossus are pretty darn good. Blink Stalkers will protect against the Vikings, but the Viking count doesn't seem to be what Jjakji's banking on at all. In fact, he's not producing any more. Strictly Marauders, some extra production finally coming down. It's amazing that Jjakji's been able to sustain this really high army count, by the way, with such a, what I can only best describe as like lack of production. Another Observer Snipe, so keen with his eyesight. Like a hawk this guy is, like an eagle soaring above. Does see every cloaked observer and so picking them off left and right. Level 3 armor is on the way, which is going to make charge lots a little bit better, but charge lots are not exactly numerous at the moment. Forced to split one more time, 3 big drops going to the main. Unfortunately for Stardust, he is completely out of position for this, and there's no Mothership Core in position, and more importantly, not enough overcharge energy to stop this. So As he retreats towards the main, Jjakji scans. He sees this coming. Gonna focus the Nexus down. I don't know if he'll get this Nexus snipe like he wants to. There's 3 Colossus here to defend, but this opens up a big hole into the natural. Looks like the Nexus in the main will go down. The Blink Stalkers can clean up the medevac with relative ease. Vikings, of course, trying to get connections to this Colossus. Not going to happen. While he may have lost his Nexus, third base has been established behind this. Blink Stalker should be able to clean up this force in the natural. There's not enough here, and looks like actually Jjakji, what he got ignored here in the main, now is still doing a lot more damage with this Marine Chop than he should have been able to, but ultimately is cleaned up in the end. Third base looks like he was either canceled or killed. Sorry, did not quite catch that, but Stardust holds. His economy a little bit in tatters. Not quite in the shithole as I think might have otherwise anticipated. Poor Jjakji, again, he had that really slow production. He doesn't have a lot to reel back on. He's got more Vikings coming out, but it's not the Colossus that are so scary. It's those Zealots with +3 armor. No, there's not a lot of Storm behind this, but there's not a lot of Colossus investment either. Primarily on Gateway units right now is Stardust, and this is certainly his forte, his comfort zone. He's got Charge, he's got Blink, and hell, he's even got a couple Force Fields available with some Guardian Shield. These Zealots are not going to take damage from Marines that are only on 1-1. Oh god, it's taking a whole army and an SCV pool just to kill a couple of these, but Jjakji forced to go in hard on this. He has to win this fight. He has to win this engagement. The Colossus being focused down, but not focused at all. Split between the 2 of them. Does manage to take 2 of them out, though. SCV still livid, trying to live behind this line. Or not livid, but alive. But I guess Jjakji perhaps a little bit livid as he loses 2 bases of SCVs, down to 16 workers, and only gets 1 Colossus for it. The Zealots are too strong, and like I said, that +3 armor coming in just a moment's time is going to make this even more difficult to hold. He can try and kite with Marauders for days. Concussive Shells will be pretty darn cool. Twilight Council finishing up here in a moment's time, so you know, even if Jjakji holds this, I don't think Jjakji will hold this. I love Jjakji, but I don't think he's going to hold this. But even if he does, he's going to have storms to deal with later. Beautiful force field, or a scumbag force field, depending on your point of view. As this will lock Jjakji into the main, picks up, ooh, and drops in there, but now retreating down to 1 base. Stardust has not reestablished his main, so both players off of 1 base effectively. But I think Stardust with a much larger army composition, a huge supply lead, and of course the worker count to boot. Ooh. Orbital goes down as well. This is not looking good for our Terran player. My Insanity's Jjakji. The one time ever he looks weak is, of course, against his own teammates. But this is Stardust showing mercy. He's backing up from this. He's a benevolent god, apparently. Might lose his Colossus if not careful. Baits out the Marauders from the base. Colossus still stands, but with 2 health remaining. 2 HP for the win. That voice crack also for the win. Medevacs being focused down by the Stalkers. And these, oh man, these Zealots just, they don't take damage. Oh my god, not even a Guardian Shield, but good game. Finally called. Tap it out here, and Stardust takes game 1 in this best of 3. Holy moly.